Welcome back to this already the final segment of The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. And I tell you what, some companies want to tell a story, and we've got a guest on who specializes in helping people do just that. His name's Scott Thompson, innovative company. Caught my attention. He responded to my help a reporter out request to find stories about individuals who pitch to CEOs of companies, and this was a unique one, and I can see why you have to do it, because it doesn't fit in to conventional marketing plans and that type of thing. And so I thought, you know what, we got to get this, we got to do this. Scott, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet. And the company is called StoriesIncorporated.com, and tell us the history of it.
Sure. First of all, we create beautiful corporate histories to help companies, organizations, and institutions document the journey that has taken them to where they are today. And our corporate histories come in the form of traditional hardcover books and also interactive multimedia books that can be viewed on tablets or on the web. And a little bit about us. We grew out of a personal history company called Stories Inherited. And what we did as personal historians was to help families document, preserve, and share the life stories and experiences of loved ones. And beginning last year in 2012, some of our personal history customers started requesting our services to document the story of their businesses. And in looking into that further, we realized that's a really important task for companies to kind of document the journey that brought them to where they are today.
So what's the difference between this and, say, an annual report?
An annual report talks a lot about goals for the year, strategies, milestones for the year, whereas we're really compiling stories from the past. Those stories are pretty important, because as a company grows, it can be really difficult to maintain the culture, the values, the founding principles, the lessons learned during the early years of the company. And those are forces that set the company on the right path early on. So we're really trying to eternalize those ideals by documenting the history. Okay,
so how many clients do you have that you've done stories for?
Generally work with between 4 and 8 at a time. We really focus on focusing on the client and telling great stories that will benefit them in the years going forward. Our tools can also be used as sales tools and human resources tools as well.
Okay. So tell me about the, size of the companies, the range of the companies that you work with.
Sure. We have completed corporate history projects for businesses ranging in size from 10 employees to 50 employees. And with those, we pitched and worked directly with the CEOs of those companies. But we're actually currently in talks with the C-suite employees of a company with 500 employees and another one with 5,000 employees.
Mm-hmm. What is the investment typically involved? Well, I guess it would probably have a lot to do with what package they chose.
Sure.
Talk a little bit about the investment without, being overly specific, knowing that it would be predicated on what the customer needed. But go ahead.
Sure. It could range, obviously, depending on what they need, and we're able to use existing material that the company has, and in packages like that, it would be less expensive than some of the other things we can do, which includes shooting professional video footage, doing web development work. So it really could range in size from $2,000 to $3,000 all the way up to $50,000.
Yeah, up to $50,000.
Yes,
and that would be a pretty extensive project, and probably multimedia on several levels.
Many levels, yes. That would be very expensive. The average comes definitely somewhere in between those two.
Yeah, somewhere in between. Yeah, what did you say the low end was? I was startled by the high end. What was the low end?
The low end could be as low as $2,000.
Yeah. And again, and even then, is from looking at the website, and I encourage people to check out StoriesIncorporated.com. You're doing a lot for $2,000, and I think this is a compelling, very sensible idea. I like it. I like it a lot. So, in terms, how many clients have you had altogether in the history of your company? How old is the company itself?
The company, we're a little over a year old, and we've worked with about 15 clients, a combination of personal and corporate customers.
Okay. And what was your background before you launched this?
I have a background in marketing. I worked for a Fortune 500 financial services firm. My business partner has a background in human resources, and actually that was one of the reasons behind our interest in moving into corporate histories. Is she has a great knowledge of the human resources needs of companies, and turns out that our corporate histories kind of help with that, in that they make for a great onboarding tool. So if we found in surveying a few human resources professionals that sharing the stories, the history of a company to new hires can be really effective in preparing them for their task ahead at their new position. Very,
very interesting. I appreciate you being with us. Stories Incorporated is the company, storiesincorporated.com. What would be a small-size company for you to help? To kind of get a sense of your range still, Scott.
We could work with companies as small as 2 people. It's never too early to start documenting the company's story, and we hope to build lasting relationships where we're able to work with a company through its growth.
Yeah, and you can always add chapters as the company grows, right?
Yes.
I love it. All right, thanks for being with us again, Scott Thompson. The company, again, is called Stories Incorporated. You can learn more about them at storiesincorporated.com. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much. Take care.
All right. Do want to remind you the best content here shows up over at usdailyreview.com, our sister news website, national news platform. We love bringing you the best stories from all over the country, and often stories that aren't covered by a lot of the other major media, and we want to encourage you to check it out. What we'd like to also ask you to do is, while you're there at usdailyreview.com, make sure you like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter. Spread the word, share it with others. It's a great website. Tenorati is consistently ranking U.S. Daily Review in the top 1,000 out of 17 million websites all over the entire internet for influence, often ranked in the top 100 in certain categories, particularly in areas that are business and politics related. So we want to encourage you to check it out. Again, usdailyreview.com. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And again, thanks to all of our many guests. Make sure you check out our last segment here. I think it's got a great concept there. storiesincorporated.com. Have a great rest of the day and spend it right here on this station.